Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to make this video. It's about that time where I feel that, maybe another major shift in the way I run things is coming up, and that's basically in the fulfillment side, right? So if you've been watching, for some time, especially the last couple of months, I've been trying to get back into the sales game over and over again, and every time I fall off, right? Every time I get in, I do get traction. Like last time, I sent an email blast, got 2 clients, and then I stopped selling. I think it's laziness. I don't know what it is. If it's the weather, if you just want to go out a bit more when it's like summer like this. Even though I hate the winter, I feel like you're able to really get down and get more shit done. But the point of this video is wanted to introduce what I believe is going to be a way I'm going to be restructuring the fulfillment side of my agency once and for all, right? Like this is it. Like I'm done with being able to, like, trying to keep everything going and wearing all the hats and kind of making systems here and there just enough to hold me in place, and then try to move on to the sales side and other things that I have going on. I want to really get into the nitty gritty and basically like come to a closure on the fulfillment side, meaning super organized from the moment the client says yes, from the way that their information is going to be collected, um, all the things that I need for my team to start opening the systems and delivering on all the things that we promised them. I want to make it like a complete new way to bring this in place. So I'll give an example. The main motto here is going to be speed, right? I feel like there's some industry standard understanding for the way that things are going to be done when it comes to the fulfillment side of SEO. We tend to take more time to deliver certain things just because every other agency does the same way. Let me explain. Okay, first of all, we know that SEO takes time, right? Everybody knows that SEO takes time, and we are, given the advice that, hey, you have to set expectation for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year before they can see results because it just takes longer. That is true. Google slowed things down not too long ago. Things take longer to index. If you send a link, it takes some time for the effect to come in. If you build citations, it takes some time for Google to crawl all of them. There's things that happen that takes time. But when you really look at all the actions we take, generally speaking, whether it be you're outsourcing it to another service, most of the services out there are very slow. Some are just slow, right? But most are very, very slow, okay? I haven't seen anything that's even decent speed, right? When you take a look at and you break down what are the things that has to happen, you come to realize that a lot of things do not take a huge amount of wait. Like there's no reason why we wait. An example would be like this. When a client comes on board, right? Let's say they have messed up citations, for example, right? So what you're going to be doing, whether you're outsourcing or you have an internal team, whatever it is that's going to be making their citations in line, we do that activity one by one. Meaning that right now, the first thing we're going to be doing is making sure the citations are in line, and then we're going to go to the next thing. Maybe it's on-page SEO. But if you look at it, those are two things that can be done at the same time. If their citations are being aligned and that's being, probably done, their on-page SEO could be done at the same time. Maybe there's some components of the on-page SEO that's going to have to wait, but with the simple system that has communication internally, that can be completely done flawlessly, right? For example, let's see, what's one thing that has to wait on the on-page if citations are not done? I put myself on the spot. Let's say My Maps. You're going to create a My Maps, you're going to fill the My Maps out properly, and you're going to give them a good article, and you're going to link out to all the proper citation platforms out there. Now, while you're cleaning the citations, in the beginning, let's say you're not done well with all of them, you don't want to link out to them just yet, right? You want to make sure everything's in line, all the URL ends up being the same and everything before you create the My Map. For that portion of the on-page, if you just make a system where they have to communicate with themselves, if you're using Trello, the VA has to create all the on-page, do all the on-page optimizations, and then they'll put a note, a due date for them that after a week, after 3 days, they have to come back and create just the My Maps and paste it to complete the on-page SEO. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Is cramming in, not cramming, that's like, that makes it sound like sounds bad, but basically having all the things that you're gonna be doing for the client that need to be done, you could do it in a much shorter period of time. A lot of them is gonna be done at the same exact time, especially if you have more than one VA, so it can speed up the entire fulfillment process, right? The point is to get them to a position where they're getting business as soon as possible, right? Now, there's several reasons I'm getting into this, right? Without getting too much into it, it has to come down to reporting. I'm trying to, basically set up some strategic partnerships, people who are going to be selling my service. I'm going to be doing the fulfillment. And for them to be able to sell and the entire machine to work at a higher caliber, it would help tremendously if things were much faster. Instead of waiting 5 to 6 months to start getting results, if they're getting in 2 to 3 months, for like not too competitive cities, that would be a great place to start. It even can transfer over to the reporting side. Meaning, if you have something that takes a long time, 5, 6 months before coming, you almost kind of have to somewhat report on a task basis, right? You have to start reporting on some things that the actual tangible things you're doing behind the scenes for them to see some value, for them to keep paying. But if something comes in effect, meaning their phone starts ringing in about 90 days, 120 days even, right? You could be getting away with it just by reporting on pure results. Meaning first month, hey, look, right now you're not getting any calls. You see the screenshots, look at your calls, nothing's coming in. Second month, hey, we're still there, but things are starting to ramp up. You're getting some more search, traffic and stuff like that. Things are going up. People are viewing your photos more if you're using the Google My Business dashboard. Third month, you're getting calls now, right? You see how it actually makes a tangible difference in the practicality of running the business. Speed can win, right? Speed can be a huge factor. So this is what I'm, paying some attention to right now, and I'm trying to structure out a way where no matter where the client comes in from, whether it be multi-location, single location, whether they're in GoDaddy hosting or a HostGator, whether they have a domain email or not, everything from cleaning out their citations is going to be done, a lot of it internally, right? All this time I was using an external service for at least cleaning out the citations. Not only is it expensive, but a lot of times they take so long. It takes 4 to 6 weeks. It makes sense. It's a tedious task. But if I bring it internally, at least for partial of the fulfillment, right? So that's another thing. That's a very good point for you to take from this, is that sometimes when we look at services, we either think that we're going to use a service or do it internally. It's all black and white. But a lot of times you can make a system on top of a service. So if the service is only being able to, let's say, clean out 30 of the 90 citations, or there's 50 citations that's messed up, 30 they can clean because it can be done with an email. The other 10 or 15, maybe you need to call in that platform to verify. Maybe you can make a little system where the service does, while they're working on that, they're going to give you the 10 or 15 that they can't do, and your VA with a virtual number from Skype, they can call in and make that happen. At least the main platforms will be in line in the beginning stages of the campaign. Hope that kind of starts to make sense why this makes a difference, right? It's not all black and white. Right? Google doesn't crawl everything at the same time and they only say yes, everything is done. If they see the main things that are indexed in the first 2 to 3 pages of Google for the brand name is indexed in line and good, then you're probably good to go. To create the main platforms out there and wait for the other ones to come in place as it normally would. But for you to halt everything and wait 4 to 6 weeks before starting the next parts it's just not necessary. It's not necessary. Yeah. So wanted to just share that idea, and something I'm like I said is I'm looking into getting and really bringing the whole fulfillment side up a notch, right? Actually up several notches, so that it can be a level of elite. Okay, the basic foundation is done. Yes, my client, once they comes on board, their basic sound foundation can be done more or less without my help, but I want to come to a point where it's almost flawless. As soon as the client starts paying, things happen at a rapid rate, faster than they have never seen before. We're looking to get websites, very high quality websites, built out within 72 hours, right? Some people are going to be promising, very not hard to do if you have some good web designers on board who are full-time, or some kind of structure you have with them, and they get the directions to make this really fast. It can be done, basically. I'm not going to get into exact examples, all of it, right? But I'm looking to speed things up and making speed the motto while keeping quality at a very high caliber, and seeing what really needs to happen in place for this type of fulfillment to take place, right? So yeah, I mean, just wanted to make this video, guys.